She once was light and laughed like rain upon the hills of Elenwain, where sun fell soft on golden wheat, and joy rose simple, clean and sweet. She bore no crown, yet all who knew would say, she walks as morning dew, unspoiled, with eyes the colour spring might give to skybirds on the wing. A man she loved with soul and bone, he built with her a hearth, a home. Their child, a daughter fierce and fair, with dandelions in her hair. They sang, they slept in woven light, they held the dark at bay each night. And in that hour the gods were kind, or blind to what they'd left behind. But sickness rides with quiet breath, and love is not a shield from death. The winds grew cold, the stars went still, and silence settled on the hill. The child was first to fade away, a single cough, a single day. He followed soon as twilight fell, too tired to fight, too frail to dwell. She screamed, but only mountains heard. She prayed, but there came not a word. She broke her hands on altar stone and found no God would bring them home. The house grew pale with dust and years, a vessel for her saltless tears. She wandered hollowed, thinned by grief. No myth, no song, no small relief. And yet, one dawn, with aching breath, she stood where once she cursed their death. A flower bloomed beside her feet, unbidden, small and incomplete. She did not smile, nor did she cry, but raised her gaze into the sky, not seeking signs, nor seeking peace, but letting all her seeking cease. For grace is not a thing we claim, nor prayer, nor rite, nor holy name. It lives where sorrow cannot speak, and walks beside the bruised and weak. It rises pale through shattered days, a quiet, undeserving blaze. And she, though torn and touched by flame, still whispered once her daughter's name. In twilight grew the forest throne, where birches whispered dreams alone, and soft beneath the silver bough a crownless maiden made her vow. She sang not loud, nor laughed in light, but mourned the stars beyond her night, for time, that thief, had worn her grace, and left no mirror of her face. She once walked veiled in woven green, a shadow cast by silver sheen where lilies bowed to let her pass, and dusk would hush the meadow grass. But on a crimson summer's tide, a stranger came from realms outside, a mortal, weather-worn and bold, with eyes that held the sun's own gold. He spoke not fair, nor sang like kings, but bore the weight of broken things. And in his gaze she found no lie, just dust and death and dreams gone by. He knelt not low, nor begged her hand, but stood as still as ancient land. And though her kin bade her beware, she laid her sorrow in his care. They danced where none could see them go, by moonlit pools and firefly glow. A year, a breath, a heartbeat passed, then horns of war blew cold and fast. He went, she wept, the forest grieved, for none who march in war are cleaved from fate's cruel page. No sword nor name returned to claim his love or shame. Now still she walks where willows lean, a shade between the bark and green. No mortal eye beholds her face, for sorrow leaves no dwelling place. She sings no more, her voice is dust, yet winds remember as winds must. For even stars are born to fall, and even gods must heed the call. What once was love, now silence keeps. The world forgets, the forest weeps. And so she stands with gaze turned high, where branches cradle ash and sky. A fleeting wisp, a whispered name, like all who pass through life's brief flame. They say there is another world just to the side of this one, not above nor beneath, but beside, as close as breath, as far as forgetting. It is not marked on maps. You cannot reach it by ship, nor spell, nor long recited line of kings. But some, the small, the strange, the not yet broken, can see its shimmer in the rain, or hear its voice beneath the bells of twilight. Once I found it, or perhaps it found me. A boy I was, still made of stories and sunlight, still untouched by the weight of clocks. There, in a field of thistle and sky, I saw a door in the air, not built, not carved, but open, simply, as if it had always been. Beyond it, light moved like music, trees dreamed in colours unnamed, and something laughed, not cruelly, not mockingly, but with the joy of one who has never had to forget. I did not stay. The world called me back, as it always does. The sun sank, and with it the door dissolved, not in anger, but in that quiet way dreams depart when you begin to wake. But I carried it, not the place, no, the knowing, that something more awaits, not above nor beneath, but beside, hidden in the hush between heartbeats. And so I lived as one who had glimpsed the true dawn, though walking still in shadow. I spoke little of it. What could be said? What could be believed? But my hands grew gentler, and my silence grew deeper, and I learned to listen for the world that breathes beneath this one. Now my time thins, the clock no longer stirs me, the mirror forgets my name, but I am not afraid, no, I am curious, I feel the air shimmering again. I hear laughter beyond the wind, and I remember not the shapes, not the sights, but the feeling, the first full breath of wonder. So, when the last moment comes, I shall not clutch the earth. I shall not mourn the fade-in. I shall step barefoot and bright-eyed into the unseen field, where light moves like music, and all things forgotten wait to be remembered. The stars do not speak, they burn, and that is enough. Each one, a wound in the dark, spilling ancient light, light that left before your name had shape, before blood remembered time. You see it now, the shimmer, the echo of what was, not the flame, but its ghost. You are small, you know this, but you are also here, thinking, witnessing. You breathe, and breath becomes a kind of answer to a question you were never asked, to be alive, not as triumph, but as miracle, without audience. Somewhere light is still leaving, somewhere it is always leaving. You stretch a hand and stars remain, untouched, indifferent, magnificent. You are not meant to hold them, only to watch. And in watching, to know that watching is rare. The stars do not see you, but you see them. And in that, perhaps, there is enough. In the end, there will be no fire, no scream, no last war, only quiet, a long unravelling hush as heat forgets to move, and time stops asking questions. The stars will go. One by one, they will dim and fall inward, folding their stories into silence. Even the black holes will sigh themselves away, slowly leaking out their secrets in final, listless breaths of radiation. What remains? Not gods, not names, not us, just light, thin, tired, scattered like dust across the infinite, but still light, still reaching. And if there is no eye to see it, no mind to name it, was it all for nothing? Number? For we wondered, we loved, and if nothing remains but memory written in particles that no longer speak, then let it be known. For a while, in one corner of the dark, something saw beauty and did not look away.